The best 10 coaches in the AFL for the last decade. That's right, for the last 10 years from 2013 to 2023, who have been the best 10 AFL coaches. At number 10, I've gone with Scott. I've gone with Brad Scott, not Chris Scott. No support at North Melbourne, he did phenomenally well to get in the prelims. At number 9 is Leon Cameron from the GWS Giants. Phenomenal coach, making prelims, I think 3 years, and a grand final as well. Very unfortunate not to win a flag for that talented GWS team. At number 8, I've gone with flag-winning Luke Beveridge. Just too inconsistent to be above the 8. Yes, he's made a grand final and won a flag, but he should have won at least more with that talented list. At number 7 is Ross Lyon. Spent some time out of the game, so body of work isn't as good as other coaches, but tactically he's arguably one of the best. But I didn't put him high because he hasn't won a flag. Yes, he made that grand final in 2013 with Fremantle, but he falls out with plays as well, so I couldn't put him much higher. Before we go into my top 6, I've got some honourable mentions for you. And there's only 2. Simon Goodwin did not make my list. At the time recording, Simon Goodwin is nearly about to be kicked out of Melbourne for some drug problems. Allegedly. But for me, Goodwin should be winning far more than just one flag for Melbourne. Yes, he's done well, but body of work isn't as good as other coaches. And he only started coaching Melbourne around 2017, I believe. The other honourable mention is Ken Hinkley. Hasn't won a flag, hasn't even made a grand final. Yes, he's done great to make 3 prelims, but I just don't feel comfortable putting such an inconsistent coach in my top 10. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. Now at number 6, I've gone with Chris Fagan. You might be saying the same thing for Fagan as others. He's only made 1 grand final. He's made 2 to 3 prelims. Why does he deserve to make 6th place? Well, if you look at the challenge he had to take one of the worst teams, one of the most irrelevant teams for 20 years, the Brisbane Lions, to take them from being so bad to being a premiership contender team is all him. He did that work, and for me, that's why he's in 6th place. In 5th place, I've got flag winning Adam Simpson. He's made a grand final, plus won the flag, but tactically, I think is up there, and body of work for the last 10 years, he's been doing plenty of stuff for the Eagles. At number 4, I've gone with brother of Brad, Chris Scott. Finally winning a flag this decade, but he's been making finals after finals. He had to be in the top 4 for me because he's given his team one of the best chances year after year to win the flag. But for me, there are 3 better coaches. In number 3, I have a coach who hasn't actually won a flag for the last decade. Fortunately, it was the year before the decade started he won the flag. I've got John Longmire at number 3. Making 3 grand finals for the last 10 years is great body of work. He's been coaching win rate, success rate, doing rebuilds on the run. No one can do a better and quicker rebuild than John Longmire. For me, no other coach has that skill, and that's why he's in 3rd place. In 2nd place, I've got the man who coached these boys, the Richmond Tigers, Damien Hardwick, now at the Gold Coast Suns. Pretty simple. For the last decade, there have been 2 dynasty coaches. Hardwick is one, and at 1st place, Alistair Clarkson. For the Hawthorn Football Club and technically North Melbourne, he has been the best coach for the last decade. The only reason Damien Hardwick is a little bit lower is purely based on the fact that Damien Hardwick was created as a coach by Alistair Clarkson. Yes, Clarko's first flag, Dimmer, was an assistant coach for Hawthorn, so Clarko nurtured and sort of created Damien Hardwick in a sense. But both coaches have been phenomenal. Winning a dynasty in 3 years is more impressive than 4 years for what Richmond and Damien Hardwick did, so that's another reason why Alistair Clarkson is in there. You can find all these top 10s on my YouTube channel, FTFooty. Check it out. I've done the top 10 in the last decade for AFL forwards, defenders, rucks, coaches, midfielders, so make sure you check that out. Some more in-depth analysis there. Comment if I got this right or wrong, but the real question is,